This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Meteorologist John Scalzi leads us off the top of the newscast today because it was a little chilly this morning as we started our day.
Yeah, it was a touch on the cool side, but better than it was, 48 hours ago, 24 hours ago. So things are improving, and they will continue to improve throughout the afternoon. We're getting warmer, although it's taking a while. That north wind is kind of biting. But I was in New York over the weekend, and I'll tell you what, it was 14 there, so I'm loving this. I don't care.
Heat wave.
This is a heat wave. This is great stuff. It's a little on the cool side, and we do have some beautiful blue sky out there, though. That's the good news. Full sunshine, nice sharp shadows on objects, just an indication of the dry air aloft that's going to absolutely remove the threat of any rainfall across the region today. Currently, we're at 63 degrees. Yeah, it's a little cooler than average, but the dew points are at least starting to rise a little bit. We're at 44 now. We were this morning in the 30s with dew points, so that, when you heat it, makes the air feel very dry indeed. So we're glad to see a little bit of an increase in our dew point values. As we head into about 3 o'clock this afternoon, most of the celebrations will be winding down this afternoon, and we'll be looking at a very pleasant sky, 67 degrees. A few fair weather clouds brought in by some showers over on the other coast. We'll be talking about that in a few. And temperatures across the region as we head into the evening hours will also be pleasant. But again, because the air is kind of dry, they'll be falling off fairly fast. So you may want to take a light wrap if you're heading out to dine al fresco tonight under starry skies. Look for 61 by 7. By midnight, it'll be about 51. We're on our way toward another cold front, and in about 10 minutes, we'll be talking about it. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Sarasota County officials keeping cold weather shelters open through the start of the week for those in need. They include the Salvation Army on 10th Street in downtown Sarasota, Grace United Methodist Church on Eastfield Avenue in Venice, and New Hope Community Church in Northport on South Biscayne Drive. And then in Manatee County, the Salvation Army shelter is open on 14th Street West in Bradenton. Today, the nation honors the late Martin Luther King Jr. The civil rights icon would have been 89 years old if alive today. MLK Day is celebrated on the third Monday in January, and this year it falls on his actual birthday, the 15th. President Ronald Reagan signed the holiday into law in 1983. The first national MLK holiday was observed 3 years later in 1986. President Trump is encouraging Americans to observe the federal holiday by doing acts of civic work and community service. This year also marks the 50th anniversary of King's assassination. And the Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebrations beginning early this morning with the annual Sarasota Awards Breakfast. The MLK Celebration Committee honoring Suncoast residents and organizations that are serving our community and upholding the ideals of Martin Luther King Jr. Along with a hearty breakfast, attendees enjoyed inspirational music and messages that echo King's call for racial equality and freedom for all.
It's about unity, bringing people together, bringing community together, bringing the country together.
ABC 7's Stephanie Webb served as one of the MCs of this morning's program, and the holiday events continue throughout the day in Sarasota's Newtown community. And in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, there are some closures you need to know about. The City of Sarasota administrative offices, Venice City Hall, most Sarasota County government offices, and the Florida Department of Health. Sarasota County libraries and recreation centers are all closed. And in Manatee County, all government offices are closed along with the Downtown Central Library. Manatee County Trash and Recycling will continue as scheduled, along with the City of Sarasota, Venice, and Sarasota County Trash and Recycling operating on a regular schedule as well today. Also today, Manatee County Habitat for Humanity hosting a major community cleanup project in Bradenton's Washington Park, hoping to bring people together and improve that neighborhood. The cleanup that began earlier this morning is being followed by a community cookout celebration until 2 this afternoon. Washington Park residents, volunteers, and community organization members will also have an opportunity to share their stories of the neighborhood. More help is on the way to Puerto Rico to aid in power restoration efforts there. Duke Energy of Florida sending more than 200 employees to the island yesterday from St. Petersburg. They'll join the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, FEMA, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The U.S. territory was, of course, devastated by Hurricane Maria in September, and hundreds of thousands of people are still without electricity. A casino boat fire off Florida's west coast claims one life. This happened yesterday off Port Richey. Investigators say the 42-year-old woman died at a hospital late last night while being treated for her injuries. The woman was one of 50 people aboard that boat when a fire broke out about a half-mile from shore. All of the passengers made it off the vessel. Coast Guard investigators think the fire started in the boat's engine room. And rough waters forcing an emergency rescue Saturday off the coast of Venice. The Venice Fire Department receiving a call around 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon after someone spotted a sailboat in heavy seas and dead in the water. A rescue boat was launched out into the 7 to 9 foot seas. The sailboat was found to be tangled around some crab trap lines with 2 passengers on board.
Mother Nature's fury, call 911 because things could get worse. And the seas actually did get worse yesterday. So that rescue was made in about 7 to 10 foot of water. That's quite a bit of wave to be navigating out there, especially if you're anchored up, frozen in a position, tangled in lines. A lot can go wrong if something like that happens.
Again, that happened Saturday. Firefighters made several attempts to board the crippled vessel, but were unable to get close due to the rough conditions. Rescuers had to free the sailboat by cutting those entangled crab lines, and then once freed, the sailboat was towed back to shore. We're still following the fallout from that terrifying false alert in Hawaii. Residents told a ballistic missile was on its way, and even though officials knew nearly immediately that it was a mistake, the public remained in the dark for 38 long minutes. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more.
This is not a drill. If you are indoors, stay indoors.
It was supposed to be a drill. They sent out the wrong message.
Yeah, somebody should get fired.
Nerves and anger are still raw in Hawaii after a veteran technician mistakenly sent an alert that a ballistic missile was incoming. That employee now removed from their position as they undergo retraining.
There is a screen that says, are you sure you want to do this? One person, human error, and that thing was pushed anyway.
The frightening slip-up happened at 8:07 a.m. Saturday morning.
The way this alert went out, they basically said, you're all dead in 15 minutes and left it at that. What we should have seen was some automated messages. Tell people where to go, what to do, what's the state plan. That was the real failure in this incident.
Instead, millions left scrambling to find some type of safety. This mother of 3 protecting her kids with blankets.
You know, you always say it'll be fine. And I'm looking at my kids going, I don't know if it's going to be fine.
A father sent me a message saying that his 2 children were in 2 different locations, and he had to sit there and think which of his children he was going to choose to spend the last minutes of his life with.
The chaos coming as tensions between the U.S. and North Korea over their nuclear program remain high. Officials knew within minutes that this alert was a false alarm, but it took them 38 minutes to spread the message. Authorities are now saying that lag in time was because the correct application was not downloaded. Now they say that app is ready. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
A Sarasota family vacationing in Honolulu was scared for their lives after receiving that startling message. The Biter family was eating breakfast with all of their phones went off, and they got that alert. After frantically checking the TV and internet for information, they got a second message reiterating that they needed to take shelter. So the family gathered up some necessities and headed down to the hotel lobby, wondering if this was the end.
I mean, there's tears in people's eyes. There's concern. We're thinking this is it. And of course, we're staying in the Trump Hotel, which I have to imagine is ground zero for Rocket Boy if he's going to send something this way. So it's, you know, we're all just like beyond words.
After about 40 minutes, Biter says police stopped at the hotel to let everyone know it was a false alarm. In other news, Florida preschoolers are getting a break at SeaWorld this year. The theme park announcing kids 5 and younger can get into the park free by simply registering for a SeaWorld preschool card. That preschool card also includes popular SeaWorld events. The 2018 card is now available exclusively for Florida residents. Registration is required by May 13th. Minnie Mouse finally getting her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Mickey got his way back in 1978, the first animated actor to do that. Disney CEO Bob Iger and pop star Katy Perry will be there for the star unveiling a week from today. Walk of Fame ceremony's producer said, quote, Minnie Mouse is a woman of the ages and her iconic status makes her a great addition of our Walk of Fame. Minnie is also being honored for 90 years in the motion picture business. Donald Duck, Tinker Bell, Winnie the Pooh, Snow White, and Kermit the Frog already have their stars, so it's about time for Minnie. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the flu season now considered an epidemic by the CDC, what that means and how to stay healthy. And did he say, "I have" or "I'd have"? We have the audio that has the White House arguing with the Wall Street Journal.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
We have new book recommendations for the new year. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we'll ask our expert from Bookstore One to preview the hot new reads of 2018. Our tech guy brings the latest and greatest new things from the Consumer Electronics Show. Plus, the Pines of Sarasota talks about a new form of dementia. And Carmel Kitchen and Wine Bar joins us in our kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, just a tad bit on the cool side out there, no doubt about that. Temperatures across the region are generally hugging the 60 mark. A little bit cooler, a little bit warmer depending on where you are, but generally that's a good median, is about 60 degrees. 61 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, coming in at 62, 61 degrees at Mayaca City. We have 60 in Parrish, 60 in Bradenton, 59 out of Longboat Key, a little bit cooler there. 63 degrees in Sarasota, 60 in Venice, and in Inglewood at 60 as well. So we have a comfort index for you with, I guess you'd say the Chamber of Commerce kind of rainfall, nice blue skies out there, but there are a few little problems. One of them, of course, is the temperature, which some people will find uncomfortable. Some people will find absolutely fine with daytime high temperature in the upper 60s. That's not too terribly bad, but there is a little bit of a bite to the wind, so we'll put the index at about between a nice and a just okay today, but closer to nice. I think most people will think that it's pretty decent out there compared to some places in the country that are suffering with minus 20-degree wind chills today. Not too terribly bad. We have a lot of sunshine coming your way throughout the afternoon. By about 3 o'clock today, plenty of sun, maybe a few fair weather clouds, nothing producing rainfall, as I said, and a temperature of about 67 degrees. As you head through the afternoon, 7 o'clock, 61, by 12 tonight, midnight, about 51 degrees. Temperatures will start to fall off pretty quickly after about 7 once we get into darkness because the air is just too dry. It's not holding the temperature very well. So let's go hour by hour through the afternoon. We'll look at a lot of sunshine around here. The cloud cover that we'll be getting that I mentioned might be coming from some showers that are occurring over on the Atlantic coast. Not a problem for us. we don't get any of that rain. But we do get a little bit of the blow-off cloud cover perhaps. But I'll tell you, by 7 o'clock tonight, it will have produced a pretty nice sunset, I think, because some of those high, thin clouds streaming past will reflect the setting sun colors, and it should look pretty nice. Send your pics to pics@mysuncoast.com of the setting sunset tonight. We'll try to get them on the air for you. Otherwise, lots of sunshine through tomorrow as well as we head into the dawn hours, morning hours, into the early morning, into the mid-morning afternoon, all looking good. No rain in the forecast. And then as we head into tomorrow night, I think it'll be just fine as well. Again, no rainfall. But as we head into Wednesday, we'll be watching this line of showers developing out in Gulf waters. That's part of a frontal boundary, part of the system that's bringing such chilly weather to parts of the center section of the country. The thing is, that front's going to fall apart. It's going to bring us some cooler weather, but it won't bring us much in the way of rainfall. Northeast wind coming in at about 15 today. We'll look for a moderate chop. So here's your forecast for today. About a 67 daytime high, 68, something like that, with a mix of sun and a few fair weather clouds. Tomorrow a little bit warmer, about 70. Nighttime lows also warmer, a little bit more moisture in the air as well. On Wednesday, that broken front comes through. You'll notice it lowering the temperature. You'll notice maybe a few more clouds. And certainly the nighttime temperatures do cool off. The colder air continues to drop down, and we'll get into Thursday with about a 58 temperature. Wednesday, Thursday may call first alert days simply because the winds will pick up just a little bit. Mostly of importance to boaters, I would think, but we'll see how it goes. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll look for the warming to continue, taking us back into the 70s. Scott?
John, thank you. In today's Health Smart, we're focusing on the flu, which is now considered an epidemic by the Centers for Disease Control. CDC officials say there have been 20 pediatric flu-related deaths, reminding us the very young, the elderly, and those with weak immune systems are most at risk. But healthy individuals are at risk as well, especially now during peak season.
This is the worst flu season since 2014-2015, and the CDC has said this is really the first time that on some measures, some parameters, the whole country is really seeing similar levels of activity.
Health officials recommend people get a flu shot, and for those with mild symptoms, the CDC recommends staying away from others. It can affect somebody up to 7 days after you get sick. Another issue in this epidemic, the decision by parents of young children on whether or not to give them Tamiflu. A 6-year-old girl experienced nervous system problems after taking the common flu medication. Hallucinations, running away from school, and an attempt to harm herself were the side effects after using Tamiflu. Her parents took her to the hospital where they were informed about these side effects and that they were very rare, happening less than 1% of the time. The parents have now sent a letter to the FDA to let them know what happened. Some travelers at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago may have been exposed to measles. A passenger with a confirmed case of the disease arrived on an international flight last week. The Illinois Department of Public Health says those who were at the airport between 6:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. Wednesday might have been exposed. Health officials say measles is very contagious, and it can hang around in the air for up to an hour or two after a person has left.
So certainly the people who are on the plane with this individual are at risk of getting the infection, but so are other people who may have shared the same space with this person during the 6-hour period they were at O'Hare.
Among the symptoms of measles, cough, rash, high fever, and red, watery eyes. Let's get over to the kitchen now and check in for the first time with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Hi, Judy.
Hi there, Scott, and happy Monday. I thought we'd go vegetarian, but with a little twist. So we're gonna make a vegan chili, and it's amazing some of the ingredients that you can use, and it's really gonna trick yourself. But if you're like my neighbors, Mike and John, that are carnivores, you can take this recipe and serve it to your vegetarian, vegan friends, but then you can have pulled pork or pulled chicken on the side to easily stir in. So we're gonna bring it all together using an ancient grain called bulgur, which is really wonderful used in tabbouleh and lots of different things. You can make it in a Dutch oven or your slow cooker as long as it has that browning saute section. So we're going to get started, add some great vegetables, and trust me, I'm going to trick you out about whether there's meat in there or not.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. all installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G-Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
This is a priority case for our detectives at the Sarasota Police Department, and we honestly believe that someone in our community knows something, continuing to keep this case in the forefront.
Jabez Span has been missing since September. 4 months, few leads. What's the community doing to find the teen? What are police doing? I'm Alan Cohn. Will investigate and discuss at the Trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
The classic film Singing in the Rain is coming to the Players Center in a live stage show opening January 17th. All the dances and all the songs you've come to know and love, all a part of our Wild Broadway series. Get your tickets now for this limited run by calling the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. You too can be singing in the rain.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Now to a young girl who is certain to inspire you this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. She's only in 5th grade, but she's already an award-winning public speaker. ABC's Adrienne Bankert has her story.
Like Dr. King, I have a dream.
If there was ever a time for the best and brightest to shine, it's at the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory Competition. 5th grader Chinori Kone gave a powerful message Friday from her Houston elementary school.
We must also realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power.
Some people don't have any homes, and some of those people can be children, and some of those children don't have anything to eat. I just want everybody to be equal.
Hundreds of students from over 20 schools competed, Chinori making it to the final round.
I was very nervous because there was a lot of people looking at me.
Getting past the butterflies, she spoke up for children in poverty, echoing the words of MLK.
I have a dream that one day, right here in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls
will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers.
I believe only if these children who are joining hands are not hungry, have had a good night's sleep in a decent home, and have received the best education and the best health care, then we'll be able to say that Dr. King's dream has really come true.
Her passion enough to win the top prize.
Thank you.
She'll be running for president one day. I'll make that prediction. Adrienne Bankert reporting there for us. Let's get back to the kitchen now. Check in again with Judy Gallagher. Judy.
How can I possibly say anything after that? Beautiful, powerful, and let's live by those words. Okay, let's get started. So I made one batch in the Dutch oven and then one in the slow cooker that has a saute and browning part to it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use a little sunflower oil, and we're going to start, and that is hot, we're going to start to saute the onions. When they start to get translucent, not fully, but start to, we're going to add the carrots, about a cup. But whenever I'm using the food processor to grate carrots, what I do is I make extra, put it in a bowl. That means there'll be carrot bread tomorrow on my table. So that's half the batch, is just peeling and working on the carrots. Next to this, I'm going to take 2 to 3 cloves of garlic that's minced and put that right in here and saute this some more. Now you have to watch it because as the carrots start to sweat, they really don't lose moisture like other vegetables. So we may have to add a little bit more oil. Then I'll do my first batch of kosher salt and fresh ground black pepper. Now, the thing is, when you're cooking, you always want to season, re-season, season, re-season. So taste it throughout it cooks. This is going to cook a couple hours, so we want to give it that chance to really get going. Now, I'm going to move these delicious tortilla chips that are local that we'll talk about in just a minute. But we've got these two sauteing well. So the next thing we're going to do is some peeled and cut butternut squash. You can also use peeled and cut sweet potatoes. It's going to take a little bit longer for the sweet potatoes to cook in this, and you don't want them to get mushy. You just want them to really soften so they can blend in. So at this point, it's time to talk about what's going to go in as that ingredient that's going to substitute meat. That's going to be bulgur. As I said, it's an ancient grain. Nowadays, you can find it in many different healthy grocery stores, and the fresh market carries lots of different brands. You're definitely going to want to rinse it. Any grain at all, you rinse thoroughly in a fine sieve, and then we go ahead and we put that in. That grain is going to go right in. Now, when we come back, we're going to add the tomatoes, the tomato sauce, and a great idea is to use the organic chili beans that I found, again, right at the store. So it's a mixture of all 3 beans, so that will make our life a little bit easier. As you can see, the mixture right there. So stay with me. I'll come back in a few minutes. And when this is all done, I think I can trick John Scalzi that maybe there's a little meat in here, but don't tell him there isn't.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. We begin with some breaking news out of Bradenton. Manatee County Sheriff's detectives are on the scene of what they're calling a homicide. A body was found by workers this morning off 26th Avenue East near the Sugar Creek Estates neighborhood. That's west of the Braden River. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says the victim is a male, but did not provide any further information yet. Crime scene units are on the scene. We'll have more on this story as it becomes available later this afternoon. And remember, for the latest on this story and other breaking news that's impacting the Suncoast, download our new news app. You can find it in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. In the wake of his recent comments about Haiti and African countries, President Trump speaking out saying he is not a racist. ABC's Arlette Saenz has more.
President Trump on defense.
No, I'm not a racist. I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed.
At his Florida resort, the president denied he used a vulgar word to describe African nations.
Did you see what various senators in the room said about my comments? They weren't made.
Two Republicans in that Oval Office meeting initially said they did not recall the president using that term, but now a flat-out denial.
I'm telling you, he did not use that word, George, and I'm telling you, it's a gross misrepresentation.
I didn't hear it, and I was sitting no further away from Donald Trump than Dick Durbin was.
Multiple other sources in the room, including the only Democrat on hand, said he did use that word.
He said these hate-filled things, and he said them repeatedly.
Civil rights icon Congressman John Lewis is firing back.
I think he is a racist. I don't think there's any way that you can square what the president said with the words of Martin Luther King Jr.
The backlash comes as lawmakers try to hammer out a deal to protect those so-called dreamers, undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. But the president says Democrats put a DACA fix in jeopardy.
Honestly, I don't think the Democrats want to make a deal. I think they talk about DACA, but they don't want to help the DACA people.
Democrats want protections for dreamers to be part of a deal to avoid a government shutdown, but they're facing a time crunch. Government funding expires on Friday. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
White House is accusing the Wall Street Journal of misquoting President Trump. The issue boils down to whether he said, "I have" or "I'd have." And both sides are playing the audio of the same interview to back up their point. Take a listen.
And I probably have a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. And I probably have a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders posting the audio on Twitter more than 48 hours after the Journal released the interview. The paper responded by posting its recording of the interview and said it still stands by its quote. Mitt Romney has reportedly told a friend that he's getting back into politics. According to the New York Times, Romney texted that friend the words, quote, "I'm running." There has been growing speculation he will seek the vacant U.S. Senate seat in Utah later this year. The position will be open because Republican Senator Orrin Hatch recently announced he would not seek re-election. The deadline to enter that race is in March. There's no word on when the former governor of Massachusetts will make an official statement. New Jersey is taking a page out of the Florida handbook. State officials say they should be off limits to the offshore drilling for the same reason as Florida, and that's tourism. Bipartisanship at work in New Jersey to oppose President Trump's offshore drilling plan. Elected officials from both major political parties sent a letter to the Interior Department Sunday. That letter says New Jersey stands united in opposition to drilling off its coast. The White House announced earlier this month that it wants to open dozens of sites along both coasts to oil drilling. But Florida was later excluded from the plan, and most governors whose states have ocean coastlines have come out against the initiative. And a chilly day at our beaches today. Let's get more on that with meteorologist John Scalzi. Although it's, once we're in the 60s, it's not too bad.
I can live with it.
Yeah.
I can live with it, so long as the winds are down, you
Right.
know, a little bit. And, you know, the winds will be a little bit breezy today, but I think on Wednesday, we may have to call a first alert weather day on Wednesday because the winds might be elevated a bit for the next front that's coming through.
Right.
Yeah, the thing is that all week long, I don't think we're going to see temperatures that are going to exceed our average temperature, except till we get to the weekend. Then we'll be warm again.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a temperature roller coaster. Taking a look outside, not a lot in the way of cloud cover across the state. We've had some clouds over on the other coast that have built because of a little area of disturbed weather creating showers there, and we get some of the blow-off cloud cover from it, but nothing that's going to produce any rainfall. We stay dry as a bone here locally on our Titan radar. You can see there's just nothing anywhere nearby. The forecast for the remainder of the afternoon calls for about 67 degrees. That's running around 4 degrees below average as we head into the 3 p.m. period. And then as we get into 7 o'clock, temperatures start to fall off pretty quickly because the air is so dry. It doesn't really retain its heat very well. So we'll be down into the 60s, I think, low 60s by the time we get to the dinner hour. And then as we head into the nighttime, why, it's going to be cold again with temperatures hovering around the 50-degree mark as we head into the overnight. As we head into the next several days, however, it will get warmer, and we'll be talking about that coming up in just a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. The death toll is now up to 20 people that have died after mudslides devastated the town of Montecito, California. Today, rescue workers are still searching for 4 people that remain missing. The mudslides hit without warning early Tuesday morning, catching many people still at their home in their beds. Dozens of homes and structures were destroyed.
We at the Sheriff's Office are saddened once again to announce that another victim who perished in this tragic incident has been found.
Again, the death toll now at 20 people. Sarasota County could be looking to privatize its public transportation. Tomorrow, county commissioners will consider whether to give the SCAT director the authority to seek requests for alternative ways to provide public transportation. County officials say a proposal was submitted from a firm indicating its interest in taking over transit operations in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. Changing transit services could help the county make up for expected shortfalls in the budget over the next 2 years. Extra security called into the Punta Gorda Airport over the weekend. Security and TSA sweep the result of a conversation overheard about a possible bomb at a military airport. Safety precautions were taken as a result. Charlotte County Sheriff's deputies searched the parking lots and terminals Saturday afternoon. Nothing was found. And following an investigation, law enforcement learned the conversation was not related to the Punta Gorda Airport, and all normal operations resumed there. A handful of attainable homes are coming to the city of Sarasota, the city donating 4 vacant pieces of city-owned land in Newtown to local nonprofit called Brotherhood of Men. The group is rehabilitating and then reselling these homes at affordable prices. And they also say it's teaching dozens of at-risk teens some important life skills to better their futures.
If other people look at what I'm doing too, to help the society, that can impact their life so they can improve their part of their society. And it's just like, it has like a big old domino effect.
The nonprofit hopes to begin construction on other properties as soon as possible. Spring training is right around the corner, and with that comes some traffic concerns for those wanting to see the Tampa Bay Rays. At the Charlotte County Sports Complex, where Rays training takes place, some feel there's public safety issue from extensive traffic. So to fix the problem, commissioners want the state to move forward with a plan to add more turn lanes to State Road 776. It's also become a top priority for the Metropolitan Planning Organization. In the meantime, county officials are advising baseball fans to arrive a little earlier than normal this spring when you go to see the Rays play at the sports park. After this weekend's shocking win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Jacksonville Jaguars are on their way to the AFC Championship game and just 1 win away from the Super Bowl. They'll head to New England and play that title game on Sunday. It's the 3rd time in franchise history they've made it that far. The underdog Jags beat the Steelers 45-42 in Pittsburgh. Lawmakers in the Florida House are considering legislation that would ban shows and breeding of killer whales throughout the state. This following the footsteps of similar legislation in California. SeaWorld announced 2 years ago it would stop breeding killer whales, and according to reports by the Miami Herald, they say the bill is unnecessary. If passed, the bill would make it illegal to have an orca for entertainment purposes as soon as this July. Red tide continues to impact the southwest Florida coast. Scientists say it's sticking around even after a recent cold front knocked it back a little bit. Medium counts of red tide were recorded in Lee, Charlotte, and Sarasota counties just last week. The organism grows naturally in the Gulf, but high concentrations can harm wildlife and cause respiratory problems for people. We want to point out that this is file video of previous red tide spills. Let's get back to the kitchen now and check on how lunch is coming along with ABC7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. A perfect dish for a cool day.
Oh, it's so true. This vegan chili is going to be just perfect when you're getting ready to watch one of the big games, because next week I'll have chili and, of course, New England clam chowder. I'm a Patriots fan. So we have the carrots that have sauteed down beautifully with the onions, the garlic, and the bulgur, which is this ancient grain that we just rinsed off. Always rinse off a grain first, and then it goes. Now we're going to take the beans, which we have that mixture, the canned beans, which is an organic mixture, black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans. And if you really like the pinto beans, go ahead and add an extra can, that's fine. So I have changed my pot from the saute over to the simmer. And we've tossed in the beans. Now what we want to do is when we got in the seasonings, I put in a little bit of caraway seeds, just a little bit, not even a teaspoon, but it gives a little dimension to it. So we're going to go ahead and add that. Then we're going to add hot chili powder, regular chili powder, and some cumin. And, you know, although a recipe is going to tell you a specific amount, go with what you like. I'm not a big cumin fan. I like a little pinch, but I want to have a little extra heat in it. So you can also do 2 dabs of your favorite hot sauce, which is going to be really good. Then you can either use fresh plum tomatoes, cut them up, and the tomatoes are gorgeous. This time of year you get those aromas over at Yoder's Produce. And we're going to add 1.5 cans of tomato sauce. Make sure you just buy the basic tomato sauce. You don't want things like basil or anything in that. It'll be a conflicting flavor. So basically we have it just about done. We're going to add 1 jalapeno that's cut, no seeds. Okay, get those seeds out. It's the film of the seed and the seeds that really can burn the most. And when you're cutting jalapenos, you always put on a pair of gloves. So that way, if the phone rings and then you rub your eye, you're not going to have a problem. As this simmers, we're going to cover it, but we're going to watch it because I'm going to bring you over to this side now where you have a pot already done. If it feels like it needs to be a little more moisture to it because the beans are going to absorb a lot of the liquid, as will the butternut squash and carrots, little vegetable stock's going to be perfect. Now when we come back, you can just top it with a little salsa verde. I'll show you the local tortilla chips that everybody here loves. I don't know why that bag is open, hint, hint. And I'm grilling up some corn muffins, another side that's going to be so good. I'll be back in just a few minutes to serve up something warm.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com, AndServices.com.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, here's a nice shot. This is the Lakewood Ranch webcam. We'll put this into motion since dawn this morning. And oh my goodness, that is a Chamber of Commerce sky you're seeing there. Notice the trees kind of blowing a little bit in the breeze from time to time. We have had some elevated winds, you know, coming in around 12, 14 miles per hour. That's a little bit breezy, and that does put a little teeny bit of a bite to the temperatures that are generally holding in the low to mid 60s across the region. 63 in Arcadia, Wauchula coming in at 63, 61 in Parrish, 61 in Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 61, Sarasota 63, a little warmer there, 60 Longboat Key, 62 in Venice, 61 in Inglewood, and in Northport you've got 62 there as well. Arcadia 63 and Punta Gorda coming in at 67. Going hour by hour through the day, we have temperatures which will continue to rise up till about 3, 4 o'clock, and then they'll start to taper off thereafter, getting up into the mid to upper 60s today. It's not too bad. A lot of sunshine around, and so long as you're in a wind-protected area, if it gets a little breezy, it should feel pretty comfortable out there. And then as we head into the evening hours, we'll watch those temperatures kind of taper off pretty quickly as the air is dry and it just doesn't retain the heat all that well. So by 7, we're below the 60-degree mark, and then we'll continue to head down toward the low 50s, upper 40s. We have some cold air back to the west, draining out of Canada and producing snow showers, a little bit of a clipper system running toward areas of Virginia a little bit later on today, producing some snow showers in and around Chicago, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Washington, D.C. Perhaps we'll get some rain showers a little bit later on. All of that producing a little bit of a delay for travelers, but certainly this could be a worse storm. It's a clipper. It's not a big nor'easter, so total rainfall, snowfall amounts, not all that great. It will produce a frontal boundary, though. And that frontal boundary will be sinking southward. It'll move into Gulf waters on its way toward us by Wednesday. The thing is, a lot of this energy is going to fall apart, and the frontal boundary itself will kind of fall apart. So we won't get a big rainfall event out of this one, but we will get a little bit of cooler air, kind of another reinforcing shot. So lots of sunshine today, no rain, and a possible alert day as we head into Wednesday, because winds might pick up a little bit. Here's the temperature trend by computer models, and you see warm today, and then you can see the little dip as that front moves through, but it's only a temporary dip as temperatures rebound, and we're solidly back into the 70s as we head into the weekend, so not terribly bad in that regard. And as far as rainfall goes, there's not a big rainfall chance this week. Northeast wind coming in at about 15 on open, flat, frictionless waters. So for boaters, pay attention to that. You're looking at a moderate chop there. And the forecast over the 7 days calls for today, 67, fair amount of sunshine. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer, coming in around 70. Nighttime, a little warmer as well. The front comes through, maybe a first alert weather day because of the elevated winds. That would be the only reason. And then the temperatures start to fall Wednesday night. Thursday's kind of a cool day with a high only of about 58. And then as we head into the next several days, we start to warm up back into the 70s. Scott?
Okay, John, thank you. Honda taking top honors at this year's Detroit Auto Show. The Honda Accord took home the 2018 Car of the Year award. The Accord beating Toyota's Camry and the Kia Stinger for the prize. Volvo's XC60 won Utility of the Year, and judges chose the Lincoln Navigator for Truck of the Year. The winners were selected by a panel of nearly 60 automotive journalists from the U.S. and Canada. Vehicles had to be substantially changed for the 2018 model year to be eligible. Fiat Chrysler recalling more than 160,000 minivans to fix a software problem that can make the engine stall. The recalls, which are mainly in North America, cover Chrysler Pacifica vans from the 2017 model year and with gas engines. The automaker says it knows of one potentially related crash, but no injuries were caused by the problem. And the Transportation Department reports airlines matched record low rates for canceling flights and bumping passengers in November. It reported the second best on-time performance as well. The 12 biggest airlines reported landing within 15 minutes of their schedules 88% of the time, second only to the 88.6% on-time arrival set in November of 2009. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a comedian responding to allegations made against him for sexual misconduct will have the statement from his publicist coming up.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8-time Tony Award winner Once, held over by popular demand. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once must close January 19th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting FloridaStudioTheater.org.
Mark Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
In the Kitchen with Judy, and I'll tell you what, you don't miss the meat. You really don't.
The bulgur. See, try to tell that to John and Mike that are watching, okay? But you have the consistency with the carrots and the butternut squash. It all comes together. And certainly you could serve some form of shredded pork or chicken if you wanted to have
Good, but
that.
it doesn't need it, really.
No, I totally agree. Once you try it, so I tell everybody, try it first, and it just tastes like chili.
And it's very warm and soothing on these cold days. So
yeah, I know.
Nice.
Everybody can hunker in with a cup of that. And so easy. You can start, use your Instapot or your slow cooker, and it just makes for a wonderful, easy meal.
Absolutely delicious. Start to finish time about
an hour and a half.
That's not bad.
I
That's not
know.
bad. Complete recipe on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining button. It'll take you right to the page with Chef Judy's video instructions and the shopping list as well. Judy, thanks very much. Very tasty.
You. Good. Glad you enjoyed.
Scott?
Thank you both. Comedian and actor Aziz Ansari is responding to sexual misconduct allegations made against him by a woman he dated briefly last year. In an article posted online, the woman claims Ansari was aggressive towards her. Ansari issued a statement through his publicist Sunday saying that he thought the sexual activity was, quote, by all indications completely consensual. The woman said she decided to come forward after she saw Ansari wearing a Time's Up pin at the Golden Globe Awards last week, where he won Best Comedy Actor in a TV series. Actor Liam Neeson says the Me Too movement happening in Hollywood has sparked quote, a bit of a witch hunt. Neeson said, quote, there's some people, famous people, being suddenly accused of touching some girl's knee or something, and suddenly they're being dropped from their program. The actor went on to say that he believes the Me Too movement is healthy and is across every industry and not just Hollywood. Mark Wahlberg announcing he's donating his reshoot fee for All the Money in the World. That money Wahlberg made for the reshoot has been the subject of controversy after news emerged about a massive pay disparity between him and his co-star Michelle Williams. Now, in a statement via social media, Wahlberg says he's donating the money, $1.5 million, in Williams' name to the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund, which was, I think, the right thing to do. Some were criticizing that maybe it took a little too long. It took several days after the news came out of she was making, I think, $80 an hour, and he was making $1.5 million for those reshoots. So, but it worked out.
But he did it at least, and hopefully the money goes to very good cause.
Yes, indeed.
And brings the light to what's going on.
Right, right.
Time is now. So we're looking at some pleasant weather outside and taking a look at the forecast for you. Currently, we're looking at a nice afternoon with daytime high temperatures topping out in the upper 60s, so that's pleasant enough. Now in the days ahead, we have a cold front coming through on Wednesday, which could give us kind of a chilly Wednesday night into Thursday. Details are still a little uncertain. Bob will have forecast details coming in at 5.
Enjoy that beautiful day out there, everyone. See you at 5.